So, how old were you in the 80s?
When the 80s started, I was 5, and when it ended, I was 14.
Going to school back then and now, do you see any major differences?
Um, I think the major difference is obviously technology.
Yeah.
As you know, we had chalkboards back then. Active boards certainly were a thing of the future. Whiteboards didn't have them. Teachers wrote on the chalkboard in chalk,
Yeah.
and we watched movies instead of going to YouTube. We had them on the big reels, so that was always exciting.
What was your favorite band growing up?
In the 80s, my favorite band, the very first, do you remember cassette tapes?
Yeah.
I used my allowance to buy Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
What's your favorite song on that album?
Welcome to the Jungle. It's the only one I can remember.
Do you wear any stylish 80s outfits?
I loved neon.
Neon.
Yeah, and I had a mullet.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that. But...
Well, so some of us aren't blessed with all the hair that you have.
Do you recall any major tragedies that happened?
You know, the one thing I vaguely remember, so I grew up in Everett, and two things I remember vaguely was when Mount St. Helens blew up. I was only 5, but then also a couple of years later, back then, there wasn't nearly the environmental restrictions that there are.
Yeah.
And so in Everett, downtown Everett, there was a place where you could go and dump old tires, and somebody set that on fire. And if you ever smelled rubber burning, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
You imagine that went on for like 6-7 months with these tires burning. I remember that. I remember the space shuttle blowing up. That was another one that was kind of, and I was in 5th grade when that happened. We were watching it live on television, so that was kind of weird. Those are the main things that I remember from, I'm sure there are others, but.
Yeah. Do you remember any advancements in technology?
I remember playing like the old school Oregon Trail on a computer for the very first time. I thought that was really cool. And then also my neighbor, my best friend at the time, his dad had a cell phone that was like this big, and it had to be plugged in the entire time to use. Have you ever seen one of those?
The brick ones?
Yeah. You could like kill somebody if you hit them in the head with it. Yeah. I remember those. I remember that being really, really cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
and video games, man. Video games were sweet. I had the old school Atari. Remember those? With like the joystick. You had to like hold like this, and it had one button.
What was your favorite game of there?
Gosh, I don't know that we had a ton. I remember like Space Invaders was really fun that I liked to play. I liked to play Centipede. That was really fun. Have you ever played those before? No? They're really weird and primitive compared to the games we have today, but still really fun. Pac-Man was also sweet.
All right.
Yeah.